Adrenaline gives me superhuman strength. I'd also like to apologize to the guy I shot put it off the mezzanine, but I really needed a latte bad. Now, usually when a guy smiles as much as Phil Harrison, I think he's hiding something. But Sony's Senior Vice President of Game Development has spent much of E3 opening up about not only the PlayStation 3's present, but its undoubtedly bright future. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
nice
and I like
here.
to see that bright, beautiful smile there. So we just saw Heavenly Sword. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Heavenly Sword is a brand new production from a brand new team, a company called Ninja Theory that we're working with in the UK, in the beautiful city of Cambridge, and we are very proud to be bringing that to PlayStation 3. It's one of the first titles that we're working on.
Pre-rendered or not pre-rendered?
Everything you saw there is from their game engine. It's all done to spec. That's what the game's going to play like. In fact, it will be even cooler than that.
Well, we can't wait. So what part of the PlayStation 3 hardware are you most excited about?
Wow, what a question.
Well, I think maybe what we want to know is what's going to make the biggest difference in the console war?
I think the biggest difference is the next generation is not just about cool, pretty graphics. It's actually what makes the objects in the world behave and look real. So it's going to be the cell processor is my favorite bit of the technology, because that handles all the huge hardcore maths that's required to make the physics real, make the actors and characters behave like real characters.
Okay, the next thing we talked about rendered versus pre-rendered. Killzone, this is the one that everyone is talking about. I think people are going to lose some eyeballs over this one. What's the final answer?
Well, as you could see from our presentation that we made on Monday, we took everybody through a story where we showed all the technical demos, all the elements of the PlayStation 3 hardware, and that was all in real time. It was either me driving it on the stage, or it was one of my guys behind the stage, mainly because there was too many controllers for me to get my head around in a single day. And then the video that we showed at the end, it was video, and the simple reason for that was that when we have that many games, it's impossible for us to have them all running off dev kits.
Okay, so is it running to the PlayStation specs, or is it not running to the PlayStation
Everything
specs?
that you saw on that tape is either game engine or done to spec. That is what the games are going to look like, it's going to be what they play like, and it's only scratching the surface. We're already discovering teams who are thinking about new ways of doing things to get even more performance out of either the graphics or the simulation.
So I'm going to get Killzone in my house and I'm going to play that.
Absolutely.
Sounds a little too good to be true, but I'm very hopeful, and I'm going to make Kevin Pereira. We've been fighting over that one. So I want to know about the handheld connectivity. You touched on that in the press conference. You haven't really gotten into it that much. You can interface your PSP with the PS3. How's that going to work? Okay,
well, there's a number of interfaces that PS3 will have. Some of them are physical interfaces like USB. There are 6 slots on the machine. Some of them are memory stick or compact flash slots. There's 3 of them. But the cool stuff is Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Bluetooth gives you 7 controllers. Wi-Fi gives you live connectivity with your PSP in the home. But when you have your PS3 connected and switched on to a network, you can connect to your PSP from the other side of the planet.
Are you worried about security in this process?
Well, obviously DRM and security is going to be part of what we will provide, and that will be running on the cell processor to keep all of that stuff under control.
And what are you going to use the removable hard drive for? What do you see consumers needing that for?
Well, as you can see, we can browse music, we can browse media, we can show photos, we can store films. So having a removable hard drive allows the consumer to take that with them if they want to go somewhere else, or they can upgrade it to make it a bigger hard drive as well.
Okay, now the iToy that you showed at the show, that wasn't a standard iToy, the one where you held the cups of water and poured them?
That was an absolutely bog standard iToy.
That I can buy off the shelf right now?
That was a PlayStation 2 iToy plugged in. That wasn't the HD IP camera.
Okay, and that's coming out. We can expect that one.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what's different about that camera?
Well, that gives us 2K by 1K resolution, but it's also can be attached to the network. So that allows you to plug that camera in your home, but also if you were lucky enough to have a beach house and you wanted to see what the weather was like at your beach house, just select that channel and be your own broadcast TV network.
All right, now Sony, we're going to spend most of the next hour riding bubbles and eating mushrooms in happy Nintendo land. Yay! Also on the way, we'll take a look at some of the other big name titles making splashes on the show floor. At least I hope that's what I stepped in.
Party and no one shows up. Neither do we, because our booth has been packed since day one, and the crowds are only getting bigger. So let's check in with Kevin and G4TV.com's Laura Foy to hear what the people think. See you later.
Hey! Morgan!
Thanks, Kevin. I can sum it all up in one word: Nintendo. We'll hear directly from Miyamoto himself and get an exclusive demo of Legend of Zelda, the Twilight Princess, the game that reinforces the question, when is riding on an elf's back ever not fun?
Actually.
No, your eyes do not deceive you. Kevin is doing the robot, and we're coming to you live from E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo.
And like zombies outside a shopping mall, the fanboys are slowly lurching around the LA Convention Center moaning, "Gay."
Wow. Okay. But instead of racking our shotguns to repel the moaning hordes,
Aw.
we're giving them exactly what they want, Morgan.
Okay.
Live coverage of all the big titles, plus round-the-clock E3 updates at IGN.com. Did you like that?
That was
Little Southern
great.
drawl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
accent.
it really fit.
Thank
And
you.
tomorrow during our show at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, we've got new games from Konami and Square Enix, including much anticipated gender blender Final Fantasy 12.
Plus, we'll check out EA's lineup, which now, due to some shrewd negotiations, includes the exclusive rights to produce games on my old high school football team, hopefully without any wedgie Sessler minigames.
Yeah.
Hopefully without?
I hope.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, tomorrow we see what happens when we send drunk Vader to harass Star Wars fans waiting in line for Episode 3. In other words, he'll probably make a grown man in a Jedi robe cry.
That's good
I love
television right
that.
there.
But right now, it's all about Nintendo fans.
That's right. Nintendo is once again kicking ass and taking names by writing them down in DS PictoChat, and that's only the beginning. I went down to the Nintendo booth to see what Mario's Puppet Company is up to, and to find out how Zelda managed to get herself kidnapped again. With Sony is coming to the DS, and it's bringing online play with it. Shed.
That was a faux pas.
It was an important. I needed. Oh, I'm an ass. All right, I'm not gonna kick Anuma off his own game ever
Yes.
again. Yeah,
You,
but anyway,
you actually did once the camera stopped, don't lie.
I know. Well, then I got down on my knees and I did
You're
that.
on cable television.
I stopped by the
understand.
Nintendo booth today,
Yes.
and I was telling Adam, after I saw it at the press conference, the Game Boy Micro is awesome.
I
Like,
know,
I
it's
am
just
going
really
to get
weird.
one.
Well, because he takes it out of his pocket, and you're like, what is that?
Right.
It just seems too
doing?
small.
Right.
But it's not that bad. I went and picked it up, and it was tethered to a booth bay, which was also a nice plus.
Yes.
Might have
That's
sold the
great.
system a little bit more. But
Any boot hunks? No?
Well,
Yeah.
sorry? No. The one thing I really wanted to see was if text was readable without eye strain,
Right.
and I'm happy to say, like, yes, it is. I read it without dying.
Also, the spacing
That's
of
a
the
ringing
buttons.
endorsement right
there you
there.
go. You cannot die.
That's great.
Ah, that's good. Nintendo, you won't die. The Game Boy Micro, the buttons aren't that far apart. I mean, are far apart enough that I don't think I'm going to cramp up until maybe like 3 hours of play. So it is a good thing. But there were a couple of DS games that really did get me excited.
Like Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing.
Yes.
I cannot. It's hard to admit that I really like this game, but it always needed to be multiplayer with the online.
People have been talking about Animal Crossing multiplayer DS for, I mean, ever since they launched the DS, way before they launched the DS. Yeah.
Here's the rub: is that when I like playing it with some other people, back at back at XPlay, I used to write really foul-mouthed stuff in all the notebooks and send letters
Send it
to
off,
people.
yes.
Now I don't know how you can protect kids from this with the Wi-Fi. I'm curious to find out. And then
Yeah,
there's
It's all right. Kids don't play the DS. It's more of a mature thing, so that's fine, right?
exactly.
Sort of,
All right, back to
okay.
maturity. My
Yes.
behavior. Nintendogs.
Nintendogs. I know Adam loves this game like a little schoolgirl, but really it does appeal to a large audience.
Yes.
No, it does. It just, okay, everybody likes puppies except for evil people.
Right, and they don't
And
have a
so-
DS
But even
anyway.
still, you could just torture the dog and just tap him repeatedly with the stylus. Evil people can have fun with it too.
It's really a game for
Okay,
every
yeah.
man.
And, I
That's
played it, and
beautiful,
for reason I like
Kevin.
puppy stuff. Just you saying that made me angry.
No,
Ah.
I'm really looking forward to this. I think, well, I mean, it's proven in Japan to be a system
But
seller.
do you
Yeah.
think it's going
That
to
goes
sell
without saying.
systems in America? I mean, that's the real big question.
I will buy a DS to play this game.
Oh,
So
now-
as far as I'm concerned, yes, it is a system
The
seller.
question is, will normal people hear what it's about and say, "Oh, I've got to have that"? Because conceptually, it's a tough one to get around.
True. But we'll do
Oh,
everything we can to tell them it's awesome.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
will.
you've seen Nintendo's game lineup, but have you heard from the man they call the Reginator? Well, you will, because up next we have Reggie Fils-Aimé on set to talk about Nintendo's Revolution Plus. We'll finally get to ask him, do you really shoot lasers out of your eyes, or was that just that guy playing with the Flash animation? I think it was. Did you see that?